Om Shri Sai Ram. Today I am going to tell you the story of Dhruv. We have all heard of Dhruv, and there are so many lessons from his story. So here goes. Once upon a time, there lived a very great king. His name was Uttanpad. He was the son of Swayambhuv Manu and Shatrupa. So he was like a great emperor. And he had two beautiful queens. His elder queen was Suniti, and the younger one was Suruchi. The king also had two sons. The son of Suniti was Dhruv, and the son of Suruchi was Ut. Now the king was very fond of both his sons and his wives, but as such he was partial to Suruchi. And because he became very partial to his younger wife, he became partial to her son also. And in the process, he began neglecting his first wife, Suniti, who was a very sweet and calm kind of person. Now, what happened one day was that the king was sitting on his throne, Suruchi was there with him, and his son Uttam sat on his lap. Just then Dhruv also came there, and being a lad of only 5, he also wanted to climb on his father's lap. And so he did. And as he sat in his father's lap, he was overjoyed. He was thrilled to be sitting on the throne in his father's lap along with Uttam. But his stepmother did not appreciate this. She became very dismissive of Dhruv, and she told him coldly that you do not have the right to sit in the king's lap. Dhruv asked her, "Why not, mother?" And she said, "Because only my son can sit in the king's lap. You are not worthy. If you really want to sit in the king's lap, you have to take birth as my son. Only if you take birth from me will you be able to sit in the king's lap." And so saying this, she pushed him out of the king's lap. This hurt little Dhruv very much. And the little prince went crying back to his mother in her palace and told her all that had happened. Suniti, of course, was very upset when she heard this, and she tried to console her little son. But nothing would do. Dhruv was dejected. He was heartbroken. All he had wanted to do was sit in his father's lap, and his stepmother wouldn't let him do it. She said he was not worthy. So ultimately, his mother explained to him that, "My dear son, this is of course really unfortunate that you are my son and you are not Suruchi's son. If you had been her son, things would not have been so difficult for you. But I think that you should aim for a bigger prize than your father's lamb." At this, Dhruv wiped his eyes, and then he asked his mother, "What could be a bigger prize than sitting in my father's lap? He is the king." Suniti said, "A bigger prize than that would be sitting in Lord Vishnu's lap. If you are able to sit in the lap of the Lord, I think that would be so much more better. What do you think?" So Dhruv also kind of liked the idea, and he said, "Yes, I think I like this. But where am I going to find Lord Vishnu? I haven't seen him." Suniti said, "My son, you can't meet Lord Vishnu that easily. Of course, he is there with us all the time, but he is invisible. You will have to make him come to you. If you can make him come to you, you can sit in his lap." So Dhruv then touched his mother's feet, took her blessings, and with that he left the palace. He left the palace, and the little child, he went to the woods. And there Dhruv was roaming around, and he was trying to see where he should sit and, try to think of Lord Vishnu and then try to call him to make him come there. That was the aim, to make Lord Vishnu appear. But how to go about it? He didn't have the faintest idea. Just then, Narad Muni came there, and he saw the little child in the wild woods, and he was surprised. "What is a little child like you doing in the woods? Don't you belong in your home with your family?" And Dhruv told Narad Muni, "Sir, I have left my family, I have left my father and my mother, and I have come to the woods to find Lord Vishnu." Naradji was very intrigued, and he said, "Son, aren't you afraid? There are so many wild animals here. Aren't you afraid they might gobble you up?" Dhruv said, "I'm not really scared as such, sir. Of course, I'm a little scared, but not really scared. I think I can manage. All I want to do is find Lord Vishnu, meet him, and then I'll go back to my palace, because I really want to sit in his lap." So then Narad Muni, he felt a gentle pity for the little child who has come on his own in the woods and he doesn't know what to do. So then Narad Muni very gracefully helped the little Dhruv. He told him the mantra, the secret chant to call upon Lord Vishnu. And it was Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This was the beautiful chant that Narad Muni taught Dhruva. And Dhruv took to it like a duck takes to water. He just fixed himself in one position underneath a tree, and there he started calling upon Lord Vishnu, chanting this mantra incessantly. Every waking minute he chanted this mantra because he was very sure his mother had said that Lord Vishnu would come and meet him and he would allow Dhruv to sit in his lap. And the little child was eager to do that, and so he continued. In the beginning, he was simply chanting the mantra, but then he was also eating the fruits that were there in the forest because he felt hungry. He would drink water, he would eat the fruits, and then continue with the chant. But slowly over time, he became so immersed in the mantra that he lost all awareness of time and, of course, place where he was. He lost all awareness that he was in the forest. Now, even if a lion would come, quietly creeping up to him, Dhruv would not be disturbed. He would still be chanting his mantra with his eyes closed and a beatific smile on his face. Even the lions kept their distance. All the wild animals, they could also see that there was a divine glow emanating from Dhruv's face because of all the tapas that he was doing, all the penance that he was doing. There was this glow and a kind of power that emanated from him. So the animals did not disturb him, the birds wouldn't disturb him. And like this, Dhruv continued for some time. Soon, the intensity of his austerities, it reached Swarglok also. And the Devas went and met Lord Vishnu and said, Bhagwan, why don't you listen to Dhruv's prayers? The little child is all alone in the forest and he is calling upon you. At that, Vishnuji smiled and said, You have come at the opportune moment, Devas. I am ready to meet little Dhruv. And so, Lord Vishnu himself went to meet Dhruv in the forest. As Lord Vishnu came there and stood in front of Dhruv, what happened was that Dhruv was keeping his eyes closed and he was meditating on the form of the Lord as he chanted the name. And he could see Lord Vishnu inside him, inside his heart. That is where he would see Lord Vishnu. But suddenly that form vanished out of his heart. And that disturbed him. Where did the Lord go? I was meditating on him. I could see him inside my heart. Where is he? And so he opened his eyes. And when he opened his eyes, he saw there stood the beautiful, resplendent Lord Vishnu with his forearms bearing the conch and the mace and the lotus flower and the Sudarshan chakra. Dhruva offered his obeisance. He did pranam to Bhagwan. He was so happy, finally, to have darshan of the Lord. And then Lord Vishnu asked him, Ask me, dear child, what do you want? You, such a little young one, doing so many austerities at your tender age. What do you want from me? But Dhruv, surprisingly, had nothing to ask. Because he had been chanting that mantra so sincerely that he had lost all awareness. He had even lost awareness of why he had come in the forest in the first place. Now he did not bear a grudge against his stepmother or his father. He did not even have the desire to sit in his father's lap. He said, Lord, all I want is you. I don't want anything else. But the Lord Vishnu insisted and said, But child, you have done so much tapas. I must give you something. I have to bless you. So ask what you want. So then Dhruv said, I want your bhakti. I want your love. I want your love to always permeate my mind and my heart, that I should be ever soaked in your love. I should never forget you. Grant me this, my Lord. That is all I ask. I feel blissful. I don't need anything. Lord Vishnu was very delighted with this little wise saint. And he said, Dhruv, I am extraordinarily proud of you. I am very happy with you. So of course, I grant you my devotion. You will always be devoted to me. But you, at a very tender age, have shown to people the right path. You have guided them. If people follow your example, they will be following the right direction. So I bless you that now you go back to your kingdom and you be the prince that you are, and after your father, you will become the ruler of the kingdom. Now you need not ask anybody for anything. I am constantly with you. My power and my love is with you. After you have ruled for a very long time, then you will hand over your kingdom to your sons and your grandsons, and then I will give you a special position in the space. So, after receiving the Lord's blessings, Dhruv went back to the palace and met his mother. And of course, all the people in the city, they heard that the little prince has returned. He has not been killed by the wild animals, he has not been eaten up by them, but he has come back safe and sound and victorious. Now, Dhruv had a strange aura about him. It was the aura of confidence and love. And how did this happen? Because his mother taught him one thing, that if you want something very badly, but you cannot have it, there is only one thing you can do. If there is a small thing you want and you can't get it, then aim for something higher. In fact, aim for the stars. And the second is let go. If his mother had not taught him that, he would not have become the child Dhruv we all know about. And as Lord Vishnu had promised, after he had ruled for a very long time, and then when he became very old and gave his throne to his sons and grandsons, after that, Dhruv, he went to Lord Vishnu's abode, and there in Vaikunt, Lord Vishnu told him, because you have shown the direction to the masses, I am going to make you the pole star. And now you will always be there in the sky, and you will be guiding the weary travelers, those who have lost their way. They just have to look up to the sky and see you, and wherever you are, you will be pointing the direction to them. Hey, come, this is the direction. I am the pole star, and I am telling you. So that is a symbolic meaning behind the pole star. Why does it always guide the travelers? Because Lord Vishnu decided that that should be so. Sai now.